what's up, folks? You believe that? Hold on. Do you believe that?
Is on everybody. Absolutely wonderful Friday. A great start to your weekend. Apologies, I didn't get a video out yesterday. You know, it's been one of those weeks busy outside of out of the YouTube universe, and was able to get a Broncos video in post game yesterday. But apologies that I didn't have a video for y'all yesterday. But today we're gonna break down my keys to victory in a very important game. This is a must-win. There's a lot riding on this game. We're Arizona's homecoming game, so we got to take that personally. We got to come here and bounce back, have a solid performance against a team that I think is, while they have some really good top-end talent, most notably Ted McMillan, they got a linebacker that's pretty good. They got a pass rush. Shout out to Bird's Eye View, giving us some information on this preview as well that I'll piggyback on in this video. But this is a quality team, but this is a team that we should beat. We're better than this team. I believe that we should go in and get the victory. So y'all let me know your keys to victory as I get into this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Lastly, guys, we're almost there. Oh my goodness, look at that. 98 followers on Facebook. You guys could do me a favor and go ahead and like the link in the description of the video. We can get to 100, and then tomorrow I could live stream the post game on Facebook as well. So just trying to grow the brand. If you guys want to support what's going on, what we're building here, please be sure to go and do that. That would just make my day. It would make my day. But let's go ahead and get into it. Also, shout out to the College Huddle. You'll see that I'm now part of their little podcast fan created network, which is awesome to see. So shout out to Wildcat Radio 2.0, available on Spotify. Y'all go check them out for any Arizona Wildcats perspective that you guys want to see. But let's go ahead and get into the fun stuff, y'all. I'm going to get into my keys to victory. So let's go ahead and open this up. First thing, stop Quali Conley and force Noah Fifita to pass. Let's break down Noah Fifita coming up here. Make sure my screen is sharing. Go ahead and get into it. So again, Noah Fifita, man, really kind of taken a back step this year. 8 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. 7 of those interceptions have come against Power 4 opponents. So, he's throwing a lot more picks right now. I think he's throwing at least 1 pick per game and averaging more than an interception per game. Right now, he is a turnover-prone quarterback this year, which is very strange because I think he only had 6 interceptions to 30 or so touchdowns last year. That's what happens when you lose a coach like Jed Fish. And this game's very important to me because I'm not a believer in the 5'10" quarterback. You guys know me. Hey, I like my quarterback 6'2" and above. I can settle for 6'1" if you're really elite at certain things, but man, we need to get rid of these short quarterbacks. Just not a fan. Can't see over the line. And so when you look at what Arizona's been able to do, if Quali Conley does not get going in some of these games, they're having to pass it a lot. They're averaging against Power 4 opponents over 52 passing attempts or 42 passing attempts per game. And you can see, I mean, Noah Fifita against Kansas State, where they lost 31-7, 0 touchdowns to 1 interception, 26 of 42. That's a 62% completion percentage. And while they did play Texas Tech very, very close, that game went down to the wire. Tough, rough game. Fifita wasn't he didn't make a positive difference in this game when it comes to his completion percentage. 0 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He's coming off a game against BYU in which he had 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions on 50% completion. So this is a guy that's, and again, we've seen better play from him, more specifically last year. But this is a player that's capable of doing more, and he's going to come into this game looking to bounce back, just like we are coming off of a loss to Kansas State. He's going to be looking to prove something, especially against. You've heard them talk about how they're going to throw at Travis Hunter, right? You know, Tech McMillan was talking about that in the preseason. I imagine he's going to still want to test this secondary. He's somebody that will still throw downfield. He primarily targets Tet McMillan, but you might also remember former Buff Montana Lamonius Craig is also still on the team. I think he's number 5, so keep a lookout for him as well. But in the losses that Arizona has been able, or that they have had, they haven't been able to run the ball. Quali Connolly's been held to under like 4 yards a carry in those games. And so it's going to be important to put the ball in the hands of Noah Fifita. Last game that we had against them last year, where we ended up, losing the lead right at the end of the game, and Arizona got that victory on the road. They were able to run for over 200 yards on us. Noah Fifita had season lows in terms of his passing yardage and efficiency against us. But that really didn't mean much because they were able to run the ball. So let's stop the run. Let's put the ball in the hands of their 5'10 quarterback and see how often he can get the ball to Tet McMillan. Now let's go ahead and move on to Tet McMillan. I mean, this is going to be a really fun matchup to watch. McMillan has just been absolutely crushing it. This is my second key to victory here, and that is Travis Hunter versus Tet McMillan. This is, with Travis Hunter playing, we need him to shut down Tet McMillan. Last game, Hunter held him to 3 catches for 15 yards and a touchdown. A beautiful touchdown, by the way. One-handed touchdown grab, as you guys reminded us on Wednesday in the Buff Blitz with Russ. But Tet McMillan, 742 receiving yards already, 42 receptions. He'll probably have over 100 receptions on the year when this is all said and done. And 4 TDs, but all 4 of those came week 1, guys. He's had a touchdown drought, and so it's going to be very important for us to make sure that this isn't a game in which Tet McMillan and Noah Fifita are bouncing back. Travis Hunter needs to shut down Tet McMillan. If we do that, if he does that, and we win this game, again, this is a must-win, not only for the Buffs to get more wins than what we had last year officially, but to also help us in the bowl race, help us in the Big 12 race, which we're not out of, as well as Travis Hunter's Heisman hopes. If he plays well in this game, shuts him down, we get a win, I think he could become the Vegas favorite for the Heisman Award, which is fantastic. He is so deserving of it. I want to see it happen. This matchup in this game, I think, goes a long way in how people are going to vote, because not only can you say that, hey, Travis Hunter was a huge role in all of our wins this year, but also he played the best when the moments mattered the most, in the biggest moments throughout the season. And this is definitely one. When you're able to shut down a top 3 receiver in this year's draft class, one of the most productive, one of the biggest, I mean, he's just a beast. 6'5", 212 pounds. He's just an absolute beast. If you can do that in this game, it's going to go a long way in helping Travis Hunter win that Heisman Award, which is what we want to see. So that is my key to the game. Number 2, Travis Hunter versus Tet McMillan. Number 3, let's get to it. With the running game, I don't care who gets the majority of the carries in this game. It could be Dallin Hayden. Isaiah Gustave, I think, is going to get the first shot, which he's been our most productive in terms of efficiency. He's been our best running back this year, which I think is great. Michael Welsh, maybe he'll get onto the field a little bit more, but I'm not partial. I don't care who it is. All I care is that the Buffs find the hot hand. Find the hot hand in the running game and just stick with it and see how it goes. You can see here, you want to sort by who has had our, I guess Michael Welsh. at least with ESPN, has averaged 4.9 yards a carry. Isaiah Gustive is right there at 4.7. Drelon Miller, 3.3 or 3.7. Charlie Offerdahl, 3.3. And then Dallin Hayden there at an even 3 yards per carry. And again, I just want the Buffs to find whoever's feeling the game out the best, who's ever to make the most of our offensive line, who is able to find those holes or those little crevices that the line is creating against in my opinion, still a pretty decent Arizona defense. It's going to be important for us to just find the guy who can do that. So if you're going to give Isaiah Gustive the start, give him a couple of drives. If things ain't going well, put in Dallin Hayden or Michael Welsh. Just try and find that hot hand so our offense and Shedeur can be served well by having a defense that has to play both the run and the pass, especially in the second half. We can't have their pass rushers and a pretty good pass rush. Bird's Eye View pointed out that this is the number one pass rushing team grade wise, according to PFF in the Big 12. So it's going to be very important for us to pass protect. How do we help out our guys? Have a running game. And then we can also do some play action, right? You know, Shedeur eats off of play action. So let's find a running game. I think if we can just get that 20-ish carry mark for running backs, that's a real nice, sweet spot. Let's say we average a little over 4 yards a carry. Can we get somewhere between 85 and 100 yards minimum for our running game? That's what I want to see. I think that's just enough to help keep the defense on their heels to allow Shedeur to do his thing. And on the year, I mean, Shedeur's been fantastic already, over 2,000 passing yards. Yes. 72% completion. You'll love to see that. And taking 23 sacks, which isn't great, but it's still more, or it's still less than what we had last year. So we're on pace to still do better than what we did last year. 17 TDs to 4 interceptions. Let's continue to keep that pass to interception ratio very high. And this should be a game in which we're taking care of the ball and we're taking the ball away from them. Again, Noah Fifita has turned the ball over like crazy this year. Let's be sure to get some interceptions on him in this game. But at the end of the day, this is an obvious key to the game. It's a key to the game every single week. Run the ball. Pat Shurmur said it. Run the damn ball. Let's do that. Let's not get away from ourselves like we did early on in that Kansas State game. Let's continue to fight for balance, even if it isn't always the prettiest thing there in the first half. We saw, against UCF or against Baylor, still having that balance and that commitment to having that still benefited us quite a bit in the second half, and that's very important. We can't have these edge rushers, these pass rushers just teeing off on our offensive line. We can't have that. We have to keep them honest. So let's have a heartbeat of a run game. And lastly, guys, again, this is pretty much the key to every single game that we have right now is just pass protect, right? Let's pass protect. I love the idea. We'll see if we keep the same offensive line that we've had the last 2 games, but I would love to see this unit play a third game together. Let's see how a line of Jordan Seaton, Tyler Brown, Hank Solinskis, Kareem Harden, and Phillip Houston can do. This is an Arizona team that can still get after the quarterback, and so this is going to be a test. Hopefully, I would rather say I hope that Kansas State really has helped prepare us for this game with their pass rush last week because they were getting after us. And of course, not having a running game or not committing to a run game really did hurt us, I think, kind of in the second half and down the stretch, even though we took the lead. But yeah, this is a team that can get after the quarterback. I don't think they have like the highest. Oh, come on. They don't even have that on here on ESPN stats. Come on, their sacks per game? Really? Dude, this is so annoying. Let me go and look it up. Come on now. Sacks. So they got 11 sacks on the year, and they've held their opponents to 6. So, very, very interesting. I think we have a hell of a lot more sacks than that. Um, yeah, they've been bad on third down as well. So, less than 50%. All those things are going to be really key. Let's bounce back and making sure that we tackle really effectively. Of course, we've talked a lot about seeing a Shedeur Sanders bounce back game. I think he's going to play better. But this is a team that can get after the quarterback, and it's going to be very important for us to minimize sacks. Let's keep it 4 or less. If we keep it 4 or less, I feel pretty good about where we're going to be. No doubt about it. So those are my keys to victory. I mean, let's stop Conley, force Fifita to pass, turning the ball over, more than 1 interception per game. That's crazy. Totally opposite of what we saw from him last year. Travis Hunter versus Ted McMillan. He needs to shut him down. That's going to stunt their offense. It's also going to help Travis with his Heisman hopes, which I want to see him win that award, right? Let's pass protect. Obviously, this pretty much determines how the game is going to go. If we can protect, we got a great chance to win. If we don't, it's going to be ugly. And then lastly, who cares about the name on the back of the jersey? Just find the running back that's got their mojo going the best. Find the hot hand. Be loyal to the hot hand, baby. That's what I want to see. And I think we should be able to run the ball. I mean, Kansas State's defense giving up about 70 yards of rushing a game. We had negative 29. So Arizona's around closer, I think, to 140 rushing yards per game that they're giving up. So I think, again, 85 to 100, that should be our target. I think we can get there. Minimum. Let's come out and have some balance. Let's not be afraid to mix it up with formation, sets, all of that. So, yeah, this is going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to it. And, of course, I will be live with Let's Talk Buffs, Carter, to break it all down for you afterwards. But this is great. This is a chance for us to exceed our win total from last year. It's an opportunity to get revenge, I feel, in a nice little rivalry that seems to be developing here between Colorado and Arizona, which you'll love to see. Rivalries in football always make things that much more fun. And also, again, this is a team that has a notable quarterback, granted not having a great year, but some people have talked about him being the best quarterback in the Big 12 over the offseason, which I thought that was ridiculous. And they also got Ted McMillan, who is no doubt one of the best receivers in the country. He's right up there. I think he very well could be a top 5, top 10 pick in the NFL draft as well. So having Travis Hunter go up against him, that's going to be absolute cinema. It's going to be very fun. Dennis, how's it going, man? Utah's vulnerable right now, rising out for the year. Isaac Wilson is unpredictable at best. Yes. And I was saying this for my preseason prediction. This is the year we beat Utah. I have just felt it. And honestly, though, they might be better off with Isaac Wilson at quarterback from what we saw with Cam Rising last game. I mean, that was just ugly stuff. But yeah, he's a young quarterback, not consistent yet. And so we need to take advantage of that, especially with that game being in Boulder. I agree with you, Frank. If Hunter plays that game, we win last Saturday. No doubt about it. I think so. I agree with you 100%. Yes, that black dude. Yes. CU needs you did the profile picture. Robert Downey Jr. I love it. CU needs to run the damn ball. Yes. We do. Just have a little bit of balance. Just have a little bit of balance. And that's the key, Ben. We just have a little bit of balance. We can run the ball, keep them on their heels a bit on the defense. Let's keep drives extended, keep our defense fresh, right? I really do want to give credit to our defense. They were very, very resilient against Kansas State when we were having trouble keeping drives sustained. And I mean, Man, that was just a game that got away from us there at the end. Kansas State made more plays. We got to keep our defense fresher for the fourth quarter than what we did last game. We didn't really help them out when the game mattered the most. They burnt us. Darren, good to see you, man. I really believe if CU played KSU instead of having a bye, they would have won because the team was in rhythm. Yeah, I I could totally see that. We definitely came out. Man, I hate all these robocalls. We definitely came out feeling rusty, and we definitely tackled like we had a bye week. But again, credit to KSU. They had a bye week as well, and they really came out firing on all cylinders, man. They looked crisp from the get-go. And I think that's something that will rebound from this week. And I think definitely having that bye week, we didn't come out and play our best football. No doubt about it. This is the chance to get back. Dave, why do you do this to yourself every week? The many faces of CU will show up. Just roll the. I don't even know what the hell that means. To be honest, I'm just giving you my keys to the game, and I'm talking about how this is a bounce back game from us. Again, we need to see how this team's going to perform. But overall, I feel like we have seen this team play better and more consistent football this year compared to last year. But again, we have not been the most consistent. No. I understand that, but I don't understand what the hell you're talking about. Why do you do this to yourself every week? I love getting on here and talking about the Buffs and talking about what needs to happen for them to get victories. I don't understand why the hell you seem to be so frustrated with that. David, do you think it is smart or not smart to have all those recruits there for Arizona? Maybe from Arizona's perspective, man, I don't know, but I love it, man. I love it because when we talked about Tet McMillan's comments on Wednesday night about what he was saying preseason about how they're going to challenge Travis Hunter and all this, man. I loved selling the fight. I love making it a show, right? I think all that stuff is great. I love a little bit uh, of kind of jostling in the media and with some of these comments. It just makes things all that more exciting. So when UCF was doing it and they had their whole recruiting section filled out, that was great. That's added motivation for us as well, on top of it being homecoming, to really go there and make the show about us, right? They're trying to show us up. We should take that personally. We should take that personally. Braska Rascal, put Charlie Offerdahl in the game. I feel he can break out and have his best game. Braska Rascal, hey, he's not averaging the lowest yards per carry on the team. So I'm open to anything, honestly. But I think that there are some other guys that give us a better chance of establishing a run game than Charlie Offerdahl. But I got to stay true to what I was saying, opening up with. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Rudy himself coming back from 40 years ago to play in this game. If he's the hot hand, you find the hot hand. D. Regalo. Dude, thank you so much for bringing this up. The Arizona kicker has an absolute bomb of a leg, dude. This guy can probably hit from 70 yards, I'm sure, in practice, dude. This guy's got an absolute cannon there with his leg. It's a beautiful thing to watch when he's kicking field goals. He's hitting things from 50 yards that, again, they look like they could be good from 60 plus. Why can't you just transfer out here to Colorado? Can't we get a kicker with a big leg like that? I forget his name, but he is totally an NFL potential type of kicker with the leg he's got. I think you're right. He's going to be kicking touchbacks the whole time, and he's somebody that can hit from a very long distance there in Tempe, and he could help make a difference in the game. You're absolutely right. Special teams, man, we got to be on it. You guys know that's a key with this team, especially with how inconsistent our offense has been. And it's just making sure that we're not giving them bad field position. We can't allow or good field position, bad field position in our perspective. We can't be having them start the ball at midfield and stuff like that, right? I think there was still a few times where Kansas State was still able to get the ball at like the 40, 45-yard line close to midfield, and those things end up being the difference in the game for sure. Dave, they really do need Pons. Hey, yeah, put Pons right there. Um, I would welcome Pons. Here's where I would put him on the depth chart. I'd put him behind Travis Hunter. I'd put him behind DJ McKinney. I would put him behind Colton Hood, and maybe he can fight with Preston Hodge for that slot spot. But man, I love the guys that we got on outside, baby. I love the guys we got on the outside. Why does recruits never come to CU games? Well, I think we had a handful come last weekend. I think we had a few official visits, but most of them were non-official. So that's why they're not really publicized a ton. So some of those could be seniors. A lot of them are sophomores or juniors visiting. But I think you'll see our big recruiting weekend. Teams usually have, I feel like, one or two a season. It's going to be against Cincinnati next week. That's where you're going to see a lot of the big time recruits. I think Cardi Smith, right tackle, who already visited on an unofficial earlier this season, that's committed to USC. He's going to be there on his official visit. So I think you will see, but I also still think that, it's still not, we're not recruiting to sign 25 guys or 30 guys like some of these other teams are. So if we're signing less high school players, that's just our strategy. That's Coach Prime's strategy. We're probably just going to host less guys as well. But I still think we could get, my hope is that we get between 15 and 20 signees here in this freshman class. And I think that's going to set us up really well. I think we're just going to be transfer portal heavy. We're going to continue to do that. And I think you see with how the team has improved this year, especially in the trenches and the run defense, that it's working. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the quarterback, what we do at quarterback. I still want Juju Lewis here, but if we bring in a top end transfer, I mean, that could be really exciting. Darren Jennings, Dave, are you going to go on any Arizona podcasts? No, I don't think I was reached out to from anyone, but I failed to connect with anybody this week as well. It was just a busy week for me, like outside of YouTube this week. So hopefully I can get on a Cincinnati podcast next week and we can do a collaboration. I think we're all set at the college huddle. Like we have a representative for each school now, or at least close to all 16 teams. So yeah, hopefully I can get a collaboration in next week. Again, you didn't even see like I missed my connection with Chico this week. I didn't get together with Colin. I didn't get together with Ra. It's just been one of those weeks. Hey Maya, it's great to see you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get this thing looking a little bit better. Maybe I'll have some better lighting here soon, but I appreciate it. My dad sent me a while back this little Broncos sign to put up here, so I thought I'd have it up here. It's kind of nice, but I need something like that for CU as well. But I'm trying to have a good mix of things, with my teams, and that's always fun. Of course, got my degree in the background. So that's like really cool to showcase. It's one of the things I'm most proud of. So it means a lot. Old school, good to see you. How are you feeling about today's game or tomorrow's game? I'm excited. Man, life in San Antonio is great. Today was a little bit cooler of a day. Kind of felt like fall. We don't have much of a fall season out here, but that's been great. Still getting used to the heat. It is crazy, but a little bit different than when I lived in West Texas. It's so humid down here. I just got to be okay with sweating a bunch, but ultimately loving it. I'm actually going to the UTSA game tomorrow against FAU. So I might miss, I'll have it going on my phone, but I might miss part of the Buffs game a little bit live because they're around the same kickoff time. So we probably won't stay the entire game, but we had a friend offer us some box seats for the game over at the Alamo Dome. So can't turn that down. That's always fun. I used to get tickets in the box for work when I lived in Denver, and that was always really cool to go see the Nuggets and Avs. So I like doing all that stuff, and so I'll probably go for a half or so, and then come back, and then we can watch the rest of the Buffs game, and then figure out, and then get on the live and talk about how the whole thing went. Buffs playbook, man. You're a little bit feisty for a Friday, man. Let me break it down to you. Every week you say the right thing they should do, but between the coaches and players, they do what they want until they are consistent. Just call balls and strikes. That's why you got Buff's playbook, dude. If you want to talk about what you're expecting, get on your own channel and do it, bro. But this is my channel. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about the team how I want to talk about it. So I like doing these previews on the keys to victory and what I think needs to be done in order to get the dub, man. Of course, when we don't get those victories, usually a lot of those keys aren't done. Now we've been able to overcome some of them, like against Baylor or whatnot, but I really do feel like most of these keys to the game usually hold true. Not usually, and I always say this, none of these are like earth shattering. But I like to get on here and talk about it, talk about where I feel like our strengths lie, what the key matchups are, what this means for us. I love all that stuff. But man, if you just want me to get on here and be all negative Nancy and just talk about how, well, they're not consistent running the ball, they've Shedeur's had inconsistent pocket presence. I talk about those things earlier in the week. I talk about those after the game. So feel free to start your own channel and do it. I mean, this is why I started my own thing. I wasn't going to go and tell all these other channels and podcasts how to talk about the team. I was just going to go in myself. Hard day for a good kicker, man. I need that. I need a kicker. I need solid special teams, man. Mason Crosby, of course. CU kicker. CU great. There's another kicker in Colorado named Mason Crosby, and he's high rated as well. Can we get Mason Crosby 2.0 here? That would be great. I know it's inexcusable, man. Let's give Gerlach a chance, or Ken Stoyanovich, man. I thought Stoyanovich had the leg. I thought he had the leg. Man, our fans at Folsom Field need to step up. It's game. It's way too quiet. Gerald, this is what I'll say with this, man. We need a new PA guy or MC at the stadium, man. I don't think he does a great job of getting guys hyped, and I think that it's been probably 9-10 months since I've talked about this. It's been a while, but I think there's more that we could be doing from a game experience standpoint to like things that we're putting up on the screens, the music used, kind of all that. There could be more from a game experience standpoint that we're doing to keep everybody hyped. I agree with you there. I think we do have a good home field advantage, but I think it could be better, man. Like I really do. Man, Chessmaster, you're just trolling right now, man. Are you baiting me? Are you baiting me for my comments on Tuesday? Hey, I just left those for what it was. You guys can make of that what you want, but I like to have guys play that have just proven it, that have a little bit more production. That's all. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. Julius Smith, no point in recruiting heavy in high school if half will just transfer out when they hit adversity. And I think that's what we're seeing throughout college football right now. It's going to be fascinating to see if that changes once they kind of finalize having only one transfer portal period throughout the year, which I really like, by the way. But until then, I think you're absolutely right, Julius Smith. Like you can't trust anybody, man. It's like AAU right now. It's like AAU right now. So if you're going to get a guy for 1 year, sometimes it is better just going out and getting a LeJontay Wester and a Will Shepherd, right? The one thing that I do like to see is that in high school, I think it does benefit to have offensive linemen in the program for multiple years before they're starting. And so I love the fact that we have a few commits on the line right now, and I think we could have more. So also waiting to see if we get some of these D line guys. So having some D line, having some offensive line guys come in January, be in a strength program for a couple years, and then they're starting. I think that's always great. But one thing that we need to keep in the back of our mind, I love what's going on with the offensive line development and recruiting. I think Phil Oldholt's done a fantastic job this year. If you guys don't think this offensive line is better than last year's, I don't know what kind of game you're watching. This has been an improved offensive line. Not the most elite talent, of course, across the board, but Jordan Seaton has been as advertised. And when you have a 5-star plus freshman coming in, playing right away, and in my opinion, exceeding expectations as a true freshman starting at left tackle, you have to give him credit. But Phil Oldholt's on a 1-year contract right now. He only signed a 1-year deal. He's bet on himself, and I think it's paying off. CU needs to get him locked up for multiple years, and he's earned himself, in my opinion, a very big payday. I did finally find a barber here in San Antonio. Shout out to Koo Cuts, baby. They got me right today. So finally, I saw the same barber in Colorado for over 6 years. So, I was a little nervous about finding a new one, but I think I found my new barber here in San Antonio. It's great. Mike, good luck to your Cornhuskers if they're playing this week. Travis, my favorite player, better win and kill it after his dumb remarks that went viral. Oh yeah, people are spinning that out of context, Mike. You got to go watch the whole interview. The Texas Truth, what's going on? Dave, Hilo wasn't at the Kansas State game. Agenda time could be the reason the linebackers play bad. Ooh, get the conspiracies going. Well, where was Hilo? That's interesting. I wouldn't have known. Has that been confirmed? Who reported that? I need to know. Yeah, just let Travis kick off, man. What can't that man do? What can't that man do? He's great at everything, and surely he's learned some kicking tips from destroying, right? He's like best friends with destroying, right? Dave, you yelped a bit. That shot wasn't at you. Well, it sure sounded like it. What the heck, man? It was about these Buffs, huh? When they got their butts kicked by everybody after the Nebraska game, they changed. Everybody needs to keep them honest. Yeah, I feel like I've been honest. I'm just giving you my opinion. That's okay if you don't agree with it. But yeah, like they've shown that they're a different team from last year after bouncing back against Nebraska, or after the Nebraska game. And my expectations, they're going to do that against Arizona. Again, one of the things I was most fascinated to see with this team is how they respond to disappointment after how they respond to losses, because we saw it just went off the rails last year, man. I think that overall, man, the team's going in a great direction right now. Not perfect, but it's going in a great direction. But again, I mean, if you want to talk about what you think about this team, I encourage you to get started, man. Put out videos yourself. Like I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just trying to be honest, because that's what I've done. I just get on here and talk. I'm just a random dude. I just get on here and talk. Thoughts on the QB? Thank you for the haircut. Again, my barber got me right today. Thoughts on the QB next year? I would love Julian Lewis for long term. Yes. Give me Julian Lewis long term. But if we want to have a season, like some of you guys might get pissed off with me comparing this, but I'm going to do it, comparing us to this team. But Oregon, you see, Dan Lanning came in there. They brought in Bo Nix for 2 years. They had double-digit win seasons, kind of disappointing at the end. whether it was the conference championship or whatnot. But instead of going to that redshirt freshman quarterback that transferred from UCLA, I'm forgetting his name right now, Dante Moore. I think it's Dante Moore. Instead of just going to him and handing it over to an inexperienced quarterback, they go out and get a dude that, man, Oklahoma fans, what the heck is it with you? You guys change quarterbacks so quickly ever since Baker Mayfield left. Like, they're just willing to change off a guy so quickly. But they wanted Dylan Gabriel out of there. And, Oregon, credit to them. They say, you know what, this guy's a pretty good quarterback. And I think with what they did with Bo Nix and the kind of quarterback rehab they put him through after Auburn, and to see him improved, you can definitely do that with Dylan Gabriel. And now, they see they're one of the top teams in the country, and they're playing really good football right now, having beat Ohio State. And Dylan Gabriel, I mean, he was great in that game against Ohio State. So if, let's say we finish at 8-4, 9-3, something like that I think I predicted us, to go 8-4. And you want to build on that. So maybe you go from 8-4 this year to then being a national title contender, like a real contender. You're winning the Big 12, you're in the tournament, all that. I think our best odds to take another step towards that is by having a transfer quarterback come in here next year. Because although I think it's cool to have Julian Lewis here, and then you can have him here for 3 years, it might be a slight stagnation or plateau next year in terms of the team performance if you do have an inexperienced quarterback here. So it's just about what you want. It'd be ideal if we could get both of them, a transfer guy as well as a really high-rated high school guy to then take over after a year. So maybe we go after that Tulane quarterback. I'm always forgetting his name. But I think that would give you the best possibility to continue to build on this year, which has been really, really good. This is a very important game. Yes. This keeps us in the Big 12 title race. This gets us over the hump in terms of having a better year. And what was the line this year? 4.5 games? Or was it 5.5? I can't remember. But another game closer to bowl eligibility. And again, Arizona fans, they've been a little quiet so far this year, but man, they love to talk throughout the offseason. And we had a bad team last year, objectively, and we should have won that game. Like, they barely beat us in our own house. So we need to go in there and make a statement in this game, showing that we're way better than them. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hilo is there. I saw him before the game with them working out. So maybe he is in the box, Rudy. I'm from the school of thought that every game is a must win. Yeah, that too. But especially the conference games. CU 42-27, SCO Buffs. Man, I would love to see a little bit of a shootout, a little bit higher scoring game like what we saw against UCF. That's always very entertaining. And again, Fifita might not be having the best year statistically, but this dude is very, very entertaining to watch. He plays a very entertaining style of football. He will not give up on any play, just like Shedeur. He'll hold on to the football. He'll scramble around. He'll look for the big play downfield. It just has not been working out the way that Arizona fans would have hoped this year. But this is going to be, I think, a really entertaining matchup. Hey, Nicole, thank you so much for the super chat. This will get me a drink at the UTSA game tomorrow. So thank you so much. Highly, highly appreciate it. Thank you so much. 5.5 games. 5.5 games. So let's get there. And yeah, 10-2 till we're not. I think after that performance against what was it, Baylor? I forget where I said it. Or maybe it was after the UCF game where we really saw them play a complete game. I just really felt like, hey, if we bring that energy to every game, like even if we don't win out the rest of the year, I said this, I think we're going to be right in every single game. Every single game is going to be really competitive. I don't see us getting blown out or destroyed at all moving forward, and that's what we've seen. I mean, Kansas State very well could be the toughest opponent that we had left on the schedule, and man, we just needed to make a few more plays, and then we get that victory. So I think things are really going in the right direction, and we should be in every game now. Texas Tech got off to a slow start this year, but they seem to be playing great football right now. That's going to be a fun game in Lubbock, but I think we should be able to go in there and win. We've proven ourselves to be good on the road, and tomorrow's a good confirmation that we're continuing to get more comfortable on the road, like we showed against UCF. No doubt about it. Yeah, give me the Tulane quarterback. We'll see who else decides to leave. There's just so many things that change, but I think especially with the quarterback position every single year now. So yeah, I have no idea who's going to be available, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some interesting names. Can we go and get somebody like Cam Ward? That type of transfer. I think that would be really exciting. I just don't know who that's going to be outside of some of the guys that people brought up at the G5 ranks, because you want to go up that next level. Maybe the James Madison guy. Yes, Dre. I believe we can still go 9-3, 8-4, 7-5. Yes, and I believe we can still go 10-2. The biggest thing is that we finally have seen this team play good complementary football, and then we've also seen a game in which I feel like they played a complete game, not a perfect game. Don't mistake that for perfect, but I thought we played a complete game against UCF, and so the fact that they've experienced that, and now that we've seen that, we know they can do it. We're not just hoping, is this finally going to be the week where we come out and do that? We've seen them do that. They did it against CSU. They did it against UCF. And they've played like that in spurts against our other opponents. It's just putting it all together. Yeah, so let's go 10-2. TJ Lateef is Colorado's best bet right now for flipping a 4-star quarterback. I thought we've kind of laid off Lateef. I know he visited last year, right, Mike? But did he end up at Nebraska, right? Because he's at Nebraska right now, right? So, I mean, I'm game, man. I just want somebody with some good talent that ain't 5'10". Hey, thanks so much, Mike. I appreciate it. Go Buffs. Again, best of luck to your corn. And if you guys ever want to see what's going on with the corn, go see my friends over at Corn Crazed. They had me on, and that was a really fun show. They've been great. Chessmaster Dave, you have a Heisman Trophy candidate and a top 5 pick in the draft, and you only want to go to the Denture Bowl. I don't even know who the Denture Bowl is, or is that even a real bowl? No, dude. What I want is the Pop-Tarts Bowl, man. Give me the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And you only want that, dude. I can tell you have not been following this team for more than 2 years, man. You have not been following this team for more than 2 years, man. We've been to a handful of bowl games in the last 20 years, but we've yet to win one, man. We haven't won a bowl game since Joel Klatt was quarterback here in 2004, man. So don't you tell me that I only want this and that. Yes, this is a much worse team if we don't have Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders playing. It speaks to their ability, their talent level. It's unfortunate that we can't give Shedeur Sanders the line that Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning has. It's unfortunate that we can't have a supporting cast like what Jalen Milroe has with Alabama, although be inconsistent this year. That's just what happens when fantastic talents choose to go to a rebuilding program that came off of a 1-11 season that had just lost their best players by the transfer portal the last 2-3 years prior to that, with Carl Durrell taking over after Midnight Mel left after a week after he signed a fantastic class, one of the best classes we've had here in a while. So again, it's having a team that can go and win a national title. It's different. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see something like TCU ever happen again. But TCU had more talent to begin with than where Prime started with this, as opposed to where TCU was at a couple years ago. You just have to kind of look with a full view of this thing. Like, you have to understand the context. I don't think this statement acknowledges that. Chubbs, what's up, man? We're gonna demoralize these guys. Wouldn't that be great? Smack that ass, man. Let's smack them around. Let's make them feel like quitting football at the end, man. I mean, isn't that great? Let's make them quit. Let's make them quit. That's what I want to see. Let's have these guys start reevaluating their life choices of why they didn't jump in the portal after their fantastic head coach, Jed Fish, left. I don't think this Brett Brennan guy is anything special. Daryl, you got BYU losing tonight? No. Now there is a good game tonight, right? It's BYU against, let me check this out. Oklahoma State. So, man, Okie State is 0-3 in the Big 12. And you guys want to know what's so funny is that, people were saying Ollie Gordon, and I thought this. I thought he could run for over 2,000 yards this year. They're the worst, second worst rushing team in terms of average yards per game in the Big 12 conference. Last is Colorado, of course. But man, isn't that crazy? Like a run first team. You don't want to be putting the ball in the hands of Alan Bowman, man. You don't want to be doing that, and that's probably why they're 0-3. A little bit surprising, but again, I want to get back to this comment here, Chessmaster. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but I think sometimes, man, when people are like, Dave, your expectation, I'm either too high on this team. It depends on just who's criticizing. They'll say I'm either too high on this team, saying 8-4 coming into the year, or I don't believe enough. Saying that I think we can double our win total from last year. I'm not a believing enough fan. I hear it from both both of the sides of the spectrum, right? But I think that again, I think when people say they want to discount like going to a bowl game or discount doubling your win total from last year, it really does discredit truly the amount of good work and good building that Coach Prime is doing here. I think if you really want to give him the full amount of credit, man, you got to acknowledge how hard of a job this was. There was a reason why I thought Coach Prime wanted nothing to do with this program after we fired Carl Durrell. There's a reason why I was like, man, it would be great to have Coach Prime here, but why the hell would he want to come here when we can't even bring in transfers because of our academic restrictions? He's changed so much, not only with the team, the talent level, but systematically with the university, with the program, the institution. We're in a much better place to support football moving forward. And again, it doesn't happen without him. So I think, again, it's sexy or whatever when some of these other big coaches, they're able to go to a program and do really well from, again, thinking about Oregon, but Dan Lanning, from the get-go, it's great that he can come out there to Oregon and put together some really good teams. Oregon's had that structure in place. They've had that success prior to him being there. This is a totally different thing. And I think fans that they're not going to cherish or think that this year is successful enough just because of the top end talent that we have, I think it really does go to actually discredit the work and success that he's having here. And I'm just not about that. I think that this was one of the hardest, if not the hardest, Power 5 job when he took over. And the fact that we can be in position to still do very, very well. We could double our win total or more this year. We'll have to see how it plays out. But this team has taken a step this year, and I think he deserves all the credit for it. Too many YouTubers and coaches repeating and following my lines to need a channel. I am the most popular and unpopular YouTuber on YouTube. Dude, are you putting out videos, dude? Buffs Playbook? How come I haven't seen these suggested to me, man? Now, granted, I don't have much time to watch YouTube as I make my own No, dude, you got 4 videos. Here, I subscribe to you right now. Guys, go subscribe to Buff's Playbook, dude. I'm putting you on. I'm putting you on Buff's Playbook. Come on, BP, you got to go do it. You got to put together. So you got some from the spring game. That's great to see. Sorry the weather sucked. March and April are the shittiest months in Colorado for weather. They are. I hate them. But yes, get it started, man. Now you're only 998 subscribers away from making that money, baby. Let's get it. Let's get it. Dude, now you got to start. Now you got to start. It will be fun. It will be fun. Come on, man. You got to do it. Ben Westgate said, at the beginning of the season, I had Colorado winning 5. Now I think they can get to 8 or 9. Yeah. And I think that they're a good enough team to where I feel like they should finish around that 8-9 win mark. No doubt about it. Maybe if we have some injuries at some key positions, maybe we go to like 7 wins. But this should be a team that has a significant improvement this year, and we're in position to do that. We were at 4-2 last year. We're at 4-2 this year. This is another gut check time to prove that we're a different team, that we're a better team. And it starts here, taking care of business, against an Arizona team that is, they're down, they're wounded. Let's make them reevaluate playing football at the University of Arizona. Let's do that. Right? I remember you saying this old school. If you say 8-4, I think you don't believe enough. Yeah, again, I just come on and give my opinion. But yeah, it always cracks me up. I know that there's been some commenters here. They've been a little bit quiet. After the Kansas State loss for some reason. But, sometimes they'll be like, man, you're not a true fan. You're not a true fan. You picked them to lose against UCF, man. No, man, I'm just giving my opinion, man. I thought UCF was going to handle business, man. But we proved that we're a different team, and I love to see that. I will pick my Buffs to lose every single week if it means they can come out and get a win, man. And that's all I want. I just want to see my team win every single week. But yeah, Ollie definitely got the cover curse, and he wasn't even on it for sure, man. He got he's just being punished for that DUI, I guess. And thank you so much, Rob. Yeah, working with the College Huddle, they're a lot of fun, and hopefully I can start doing some more collaborations with them. Again, they don't pay me anything. I don't get any financial incentive, but it's just a nice little network that should provide some more exposure for the channel, and just gives me some more contacts to bring on some great collaborations for you guys as the season goes on. As I have time to, I kind of failed on that this week. My birthday is March 29th. I love that time of your day. Stop it. Time of year. Stop it. Well, hey, happy belated or early birthday, or happy half birthday. It's around this time, old school. But just if you're gonna go on vacation, just go somewhere else. That's just, I always tell friends and family, you just never know what kind of weather you're gonna get in March and April, man. It could be snowing, it could be 70 and sunny out there. You just never know what you're gonna get. Yeah. Folks who's new to the Buffs can't say nothing about them being satisfied with it. Yeah, exactly. Man, I understand it, man. But again, like this team, although the talent level again is night and day different from where it was at 2 years ago, I wish we kind of had that type of depth. Like, for instance, like looking at Texas, they could have their first 3 running backs go down with ACL tears, but it's just plug and play, dude. You got another absolute stud in there that's just ready to roll. Maybe we have guys that could eat like that with that sort of offensive line, but I don't know, man. I would have liked to still see Shedeur play in more of a pro style this year, but I think that it's been kind of a healthy mix of some things that have made him comfortable, of course, but also things that are better for the team. I think I'd like to see some more pistol stuff soon. I'm just partial to that. I think we've run the ball out of that set really, really well, and I also like incorporating some more tight ends. But again, we don't have the tight ends yet that Georgia has or whatever. Now with Zane D'Souza, Corbin Lejeune, a few guys in the pipeline that are coming out here that can make that position really, really exciting. Um, right now, our personnel kind of does fit that more air raid a little bit better. All right, guys. It's been about an hour. I got to get out of here. So I'll be back with another video tomorrow. We'll go post game with Carter from Let's Talk Buffs. Y'all enjoy the game. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Thank you guys again for the super chats. Love getting on here talking with my keys to victory. Do me a favor. Well, first, thank you, Nicole Carter. Thank you, Mike, for the $20. I mean, that's great. Can buy some beverages over at the UTSA game tomorrow. But again, hate to plug this, hate to be this dude, but we're just two people away. Y'all, please go like the page on Facebook. We are now we're at 98 still. We're at 98 still. If I can get to 100 by tomorrow, then I can live stream this thing. So you guys go like that and then go like Buff's playbook, man. I'm trying to put you on Buff's playbook. Let's go. Let's get him going. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the games. Go Buffs.